Hey, Fred, what does baseball mean to you?
Well, young Matthew, to me, baseball means family. It means friends. And it means fun. It's America's pastime, after all, and it will continue to be so. What's it mean to you, Matt?
Well, it means three things: peanuts, popcorn, and Cracker Jack.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one-boy cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun. Whether we're talking man to man or whether we're talking sun to sun, 'cause he's my best friend. Yeah, he's my best friend. La la, ba la 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 la, yeah, ba la 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 la, ba la 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 la, yeah, ba la 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 la, beep, bo, 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 rubba-dibba, beep, bo, bo, rubba-dibba, beep, bo, bo, bo.
Welcome back to Bucco Banter. My name is Fred Rossano, and this is Matthew Peaslee. Well, Matt, spring training's winding down. In fact, as we speak right now, the exhibition season in Florida has been completed, and the Buccos will be heading up to Philadelphia to play a couple exhibitions up there before they head back to Pittsburgh for the home opener
Where's it at?
beautiful PNC Park.
Yeah, Fred, it was a pretty fun spring training. From what we got to see, they had a pretty good record for the first time in a while. Not that that really matters or anything, but I think they wrapped up with a record of 14-10. But the real big news, kind of coming into the season, they recently signed Starling Marte, the left fielder, for a pretty good contract. He's going to be in Pittsburgh for at least the next 6 years. Keeps him here till about 2021, I believe. $31 million, too, so it's pretty good bargain for him.
A couple option years in that after the 6 years also.
Right, so he's going to be, it's good to have him locked down. Just like 2 years ago in spring training, they signed Andrew McCutchen to a 6-year deal worth $50 million. So we got our two of our best outfield pieces locked in for a while now. How do you think that deal plays for Starling and the Pirates?
Oh, I think it's good for both sides. It's good for the Pirates because they've got a guy locked up who I'm sure have a lot of confidence in going forward. They call him a 5-tool player, and he even last year, despite a couple injuries that took him out of the lineup, he pretty much showed a lot of that. And it's also good for Marte. 25 years old. Imagine being offered that much money and saying, gee whiz, I'll twist my arm. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take $31 million for the next. And that still won't even be, he'll still only be, in his early 30s,
right.
or 32 years old, right, or whatever.
He's only had one full season in the majors, too. He came up, I just look at some of his numbers last year. He was batting .280, 12 home runs. That's a pretty maybe we'll get to like to see his power go up a little bit, but he gets on base constantly, and he's fast. 41 stolen bases last year. So he's definitely going to be an asset for us going forward. Like you said, 5-tool player. He can really do it all for us.
I see him fitting into sort of eventually a McCutchen type thing where he probably isn't the typical number one hitter in the lineup because of that power that he has too. Maybe eventually moving down to number 3 or 2 or 3 or 5 in the lineup or something. But that would obviously move McCutchen around. But those are problems for down the road. But overall, I agree with you. It's an excellent deal for both sides.
25 years old. I'm 25 years old, and I'll never sniff that much money in my lifetime.
Well, I'm coming close to that per year here, but not quite yet. A couple other things, some good news as far as Francisco Liriano. Looks like he's okay. We'll cross our fingers on that. With the groin injury there, hopefully he'll be ready to go come Monday.
Right.
And that'll be a big plus.
It'll be good to have him at the beginning of the year because last year he didn't come until, was it May or June? After
broken hand or whatever he had.
Yeah, but groin tightness, I guess they call it. It's not going to hold him back too much, so it's good that he'll be our opening day starter, going against Jeff Samardzija, the Chicago Cubs. And I read somewhere that Jeff Samardzija is the only player in PNC Park history to make 2 opening day starts. No, there's been no Pirate has made a home opening start twice. He's the only one that's done it. Last year was A.J. Burnett. Years past, it's been Kevin Correa in years past too. But Jeff Samardzija is the only one that's done it twice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well, they were at home last year against
the Cubs too, and I think that's when Samardzija made his first start. And he's back again, familiar territory for him, I guess, to start the year.
That's a unique, worthless stat there, man.
Yeah,
Very good.
that's what this show's all about.
On the not so good news, Jamison Tyon, I haven't heard the results of his, having another physician look at his elbow to see what might be wrong there. But hopefully, according to Neil Huntington, it's just something wrong with the elbow. They said the ligament or whatever is still intact, and there shouldn't be anything other than rest, maybe. So we'll cross our fingers on that one because that would really hurt if.
Right. Again, he's not going to be. He's obviously not making an impact at least till midway through the season. But we want him to be in AAA, doing what he's supposed to do, with getting the experience and resting up, getting healthy. So hopefully, it's not like we have to shut him down and get Tommy John surgery on him. It's going to be just rest and hopefully repair that elbow, and he gets back to his normal playing self once the AAA season starts here pretty soon too.
Overall, how do you see the team shaping up as far as a couple of different positions that were still in limbo? Kind of a surprise at first base that Andrew Lambeau got sent down, but
I think that was right for him. If he was just going to be handed the first base position and batting with a 0.95 batting average, that doesn't bode well.
Those days are gone, and that worked 3, 4, 5 years ago. That isn't going to cut it anymore. You got to when you come up to the major leagues, you have to produce.
Right.
And I think a guy like what Jordy Mercer did last year was a good example of that. He sees the opportunity. This is the major leagues now. You can't just go ahead and babysit them for a long period of time and see what happens. But get back to with Lambeau.
Yeah, last year his big thing was, this guy was an up and coming big power hitter. He hit a bunch of home runs in AA and AAA, but obviously that didn't really carry over in his spring training year when he's trying to fight for that position. I think you keep him in AAA a little bit, see if he does get back to those power numbers and gets on base like he did last year, and then you call him up. But in the meantime, it's going to be Gabby Sanchez and Travis Ishikawa. This was a guy that we came in as the offseason kind of, you thought, okay, maybe you can give him a run maybe he can just create some more competition. But I never would have thought that he'd be on the team opening.
Who knows? He could turn into another Garrett Jones or something.
Right. He's had a good spring. I think he's had 3 or 4 home runs.
And he missed quite a bit at the beginning of the spring training, but we'll see what happens. Right field looks like it's going to be Travis Snyder and Jose Tabata.
Yeah, and they're both kind of those players that still need to prove themselves a little bit. Tabata's had his moments of brilliance, but then, he gets gragged on a lot for maybe being a lazy player. But I think he needs to know that if he wants the everyday job, he's going to have to perform day in and day out. But I think Snyder realizes that too, and they're both pretty good compliments to each other. That they're not the best power hitters, they're not the best hitters in general, but and it's hard to say if they're keeping the seat warm for Gregory Polanco down the road. But I think they'll try to do a decent job, and they'll be reliable right fielders no matter who you put in there. It would be nice to have somebody set in stone at first base and right field, but that's just not happening right now. So these guys need to do what they can to help the team win.
Overall, the rest of the team looks pretty much set with Neil Walker at second, Jordy Mercer at short, Pedro at third, Russell Martin behind the plate, and then we covered Travis Snyder and Tabata.
Our pitching staff is probably, I'd say it's one of our strong suits.
I think so too.
No matter how you look at it, player-wise that we have in there now, or just the depth we have at pitching too. What's our rotation going to be? It's going to be Francisco Liriano, Charlie Morton, Garrett Cole, Wandy Rodriguez, and Edison Volquez. What's your take on Volquez about what he can do in the back end?
I don't know. He's still a mystery to me. And look what Ray Sturgeon's done with some of the other guys. We'll just see what happens. He could turn into somebody that's a real surprise again. He may not. We'll find out as the year progresses.
We were kind of in this position last year with Jonathan Sanchez. You can almost forget about him a little bit because he might have made 2 or 3 starts, and we just had to get rid of him because he wasn't cutting it in the rotation. So we hope that doesn't turn into what Volquez is going to do at the beginning of the season. You want him to be somebody reliable at the back end. But again, if he falters or if Wandy gets hurt again or something, we got guys that can step in like a Jeff Locke or a Stomy Pimentel or a Genmar Gomez. I mean, there's guys with starting.
Too many names that we can't pronounce.
Yeah,
they're tough.
But but they're solid too. I mean, I wouldn't have any doubts throwing one of those guys out there to get us 6 good innings on for a start.
Whatever it is, it's it's just great to see. Hopefully the weather will. It's supposed to be nice on Monday. Hopefully we'll. This is the start of another big season for the Pirates, and we'll see what happens. But can't go wrong with beautiful PNC Park.
Fred, we kind of went back in time last week with this little megaphone, popcorn, Three River Stadium dual giveaway thing, and we had some fun with that. Did you bring anything from years past in this week?
Yes, I have.
Wow.
Could we get the close-up on camera 2 here? Camera.
Fred, one camera right there.
What I have here is a schedule from 1977, and the significance of this schedule is I had my internship at the Newcastle News in Pennsylvania, home of many great people, by the way. But I had the opportunity to talk to Chuck Tanner, Phil Garner, and Kent Tekulve. And if you look close enough, it's got Kent Tekulve's autograph on the bottom here and Phil Garner's autograph here.
Wow.
But it was Chuck Tanner's obviously from Newcastle, Pennsylvania, my favorite Pirate of all time. Just a super nice guy. Every time you saw him, he's one of those guys that would always remember your name. But they were at a dealership in Newcastle, and just talking to. It was started to get kind of crowded there,
yeah.
and I sort of like crouched down to talk to Chuck there, and I said, "Can I have a minute of your time?" The nervous person I was back then. And I said, "Can I have a minute?" And he, stopped everything, and he said, "Sure you can." He said, got up, and he said, "What do you need to know?" He said, "Let me introduce you to Phil Garner and Kent Tekulve, and these two guys are going to help lead us to the World Series. How about that?"
Nice.
And I said, "Cool." I said, "That's pretty interesting." And I asked him a couple questions, and they were all very super nice or whatever. And well, obviously it's gotten a lot of wear since then, and you can see it's pretty beat up. But it was one of a more memorable moment. Again, talked to those guys a couple more times over the years, especially Chuck Tanner several times, and just a super nice opportunity for a youngster like me back then.
And awesome that you still kept it all these years, too.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't throw that away. Matt, it's time for a new segment on Bucco Banter. It's Ask the Experts, and we are the experts.
Of course.
And we were really surprised. We got thousands upon thousands of texts and emails to come in for these questions.
Just
so we narrowed it down to about 15 or 20 there.
The best ones are right here.
Okay, but before you do that, we even have props available now. They spare no expense here.
This is my thinking cap.
That's your thinking cap. Make sure there's not too much pressure on your brain. And I will select the first question. Will the Pirates trade for a first baseman this year?
I don't think so. I think they're going to be content with Gabby Sanchez, Travis Ishikawa, Andrew Lambeau, probably in a few months after the season starts. But I think they'll be set with those three guys. They may not be tops in the league in certain hitting categories, but they'll be.
You sure that pressure? There's not too much pressure on your brain.
That's just what I'm thinking, Fred. I think that they'll be able to prove themselves and do a decent job at first base.
Good enough. Let me get question number 2. Will Travis Snyder have a breakout year?
I think he will. I think this will be his best year since he's been in the majors. He started out as a left fielder, right fielder in Toronto. He was looked at as one of the Blue Jays organization's top prospects.
They brought him up a little too too early there.
A little
maybe.
too soon, but I think he's found a home in Pittsburgh. I think he's going to deliver. I think he's put on some muscle this offseason. He's rehabbing from his foot injury, and he's going to be a solid everyday right fielder for us. Your turn. Put on your thinking cap.
Okay.
Ready? Speaking of right field, will Jose Tabata be traded this year?
I think he will. I'm thinking he may be traded. I mean, it's a good contract for them, or they thought it was a great contract for them, and a lousy contract for Tabata. But I think as the season goes on, especially if Polanco comes up, that they'll trade. All right, question number 2.
I'm just making sure the thinking cap is giving you the proper knowledge.
It's starting to drain the blood in my head.
Who will be the Pirates' best relief pitcher in 2014? Channeling the Shark Tank here.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Tony Watson.
Yep.
I really think he's been sort of an unsung hero for them, but he just has been spectacular against lefties and done a real outstanding job.
Yep.
I'm not going to say that Grilly and the rest of them aren't going to do well, but I think Tony Watson's really going to have a really good year this year.
Yeah, we know what Grilly and Melanson can do in the back end. We need somebody reliable in those middle innings to get the job done, and I agree. I think Tony Watson will be a surprise and be really a reliable pitcher for us in the back end.
So keep those texts and emails coming in for Ask the Experts.
Fred, I think we just received a breaking news telegram from one of our viewers at home. Question for Bucco Banter, stop. What will Clint Hurdle's gum count be by the end of this season, stop? What's your prediction on that one? And no thinking cap.
There is a formula behind Clint Hurdle's gum chewing, and I was privy to some information about this.
Can you share?
Not at this time. That'll be for another future Bucco Banter. But I'm thinking. Let's see. Now, this is just during games, right?
We'll just say during games.
And this question was also asked, I think, on Ask Teak one time, and I don't remember what the answer was, but I think there was some sort of formula, but I'm not at liberty to divulge the information right now. Why don't we do this? Why don't we write it on a piece of paper, and then we'll see who wins.
Good call. That sounds good to me. We'll reveal our answers. We'll maybe even check with the source himself, Clint Hurdle, to see if he can.
Would be even better
if he can offer us any insight.
Even better.
But this is a very perking question that'll be with us throughout the season. So tune back into Bucco Banter to find out the answer. See you next time.
You got to do something about the smell in here. Don't you smell that?
A little bit. It's partially that. It's partially probably him salivating and drooling. I'm ready.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
5.
Wait a minute, I got some slobber. Some spittle. Okay.
Good, more out there. 3, 2.
Well, Fred, we just received a telegram from one of our viewers. Can I say telegram?